you.
Okay,
So yeah, it sounds like just after mine and Clara's conversation, it cut.
Yep.
Okay, and we're green.
So technically we're back.
Let's see just a second if it pops up on
We
Twitch.
jump on Twitch really quick, or Twitter really quick, and be like, hey, so
Oopsie.
we're live again. That was weird.
That was.
Okay, so I'm hearing... Oh, I think that's from you, Dave. Cool, okay.
Party of two. We are...
Live again?
We're live again.
Yep, we are live. Okay, that was weird. Well, if any of you guys come back...
No, some of them, I think they're still on here. According to Twitch, we got some, they're still on here.
Oh, we do? Oh, okay.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
We don't know what happened.
Freaking weird.
Yeah, it's weird because we still had internet connection, but suddenly we lost Twitch connection.
The stream.
The stream got lost, which was weird. I've never had that happen before.
In the year that we've been doing this, we've never had that happen before.
Nope.
That's weird. Okay, will you flip the video over here so that I can see our lovely friends? Okay. I can't see them. I want to see the faces. Okay.
Here you are.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
We're good. We're all green.
Okay, we're all green. We're good to go. Okay, so we had just left off with our wonderful Flint being so sweet to Clara, and Morrigan coming back and beginning your trip in through... Oh, and we just lost Abby. Oh, there she's back. Okay. I'm like, great, freaking technical difficulties. So as you... I believe we missed the description of kind of the environment. Yes. So we're going to go back to that. So the environment, the air as you were walking begins to feel thick. And where before it was just kind of this heavy sensation, now it feels thick. It's almost like it's difficult to take a really deep breath. And as you get closer to the palace itself, the Palace of Pharasma, you have a brighter light, but at the same time, much darker shadows. So the juxtaposition of the two, light and dark, are beginning to get thicker and the contrast becoming more intense. As you get to... I remember what I'd gone through. As you get to the first of the planar gates, which has a series of constellations on it, very similar to the Stargate chevrons, if you know Stargate, which we're really big. I'm a really big fan of Stargate. Yep. So nerdy moment. The gates themselves, the gate itself is very beautiful, and there is a large altar that is in front of it. It is covered with offerings from it looks like many different cultures and types. There's flowers, there's meat, there's jewelry, there's like carriages, there's like a whole manner of different things that look to be offered at this altar. And standing next to the altar itself is what looks to be a living statue. It is skeletal in frame, but covered in what looks like parchment paper. And as it looks at Morgan, it nods slowly, and you hear like a rustling of the sound of paper and kind of that just crackly noise. Very slight, very quiet, but definitely there in the deadened sound that is this place. Morgan nods back. And yes?
I just realized in all of our walking, did I get the indication that Anna received my dream message?
Give me a minute.
Okay, that's right.
Do you remember how time works differently?
True.
Okay.
I just remembered it. That's all.
So you stand at this gate for a moment, and the Morgan goes up and speaks in very, very quiet, hushed tones, to the point where you guys can't really understand or hear what she's saying, other than just the murmur of quiet voices. And the response that you get back or that you hear coming back from this creature is like puts your entire bodies on edge. It's like the scraping of fingernails on chalkboards. It is the most like just hair-raising, uncomfortable sound that you personally can imagine. And for each of you...
doesn't draw her sword, but just instinctively just grabs the handle.
Okay.
Just not aggressively, just comfort-wise.
To grab something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the pommel sits nicely in your hand
Mm-hmm.
as you're there. For each of you, that sound is going to be different. The communication is done on a different level than speech for this creature. After a moment or two, the Morrigan nods and backs away, turns, and then kind of gathers you all together and begins moving forward. And she says to you in a way of explanation, as we travel along, there are gates. There are going to be gates to different areas, to different planes of existence. Each have guards. It's nothing to be worried about, but as we pass each of them, I have to check in because they will feel threatened by humans, living people that are not supposed to be here.
Az just walks around like
She's like, we have a pass, we have a whole pass.
multi-pass.
Yes, but and she does look at you and she said, yes, that will protect you, but with me here, it's significantly easier. So don't be alarmed, but know that as we pass the gates, I will need to stop to speak with each of them.
Are they constructs or intelligent creatures?
They're intelligent. They are much like Barzak, who was created out of the fear and the worry of the psychopops themselves.
He was born from their emotions?
Yes. He was born of their stress of trying to keep everything in line here while Pharasma was in judgment. He was created as their leader. Our leader. And she continues moving forward.
And I was just kind of like, you're a being of pure stress? Ugh.
I know, wouldn't that be awful?
Well, it makes sense. He's middle management. Everyone below
Oh my
you
gosh,
hates
yes.
you, and everyone above you is blaming you for
Is
everything.
blaming for everything. Oh my gosh. Okay, camera, come on. Okay, so as you continue forward, you do... Did it finally focus? There we go. Jeez. You see a way station, which marks the end of another 8-hour period. And when you're approximately 200 yards away, as you have that cold sensation of feeling that Anna finally went to sleep.
Well, that
And
she
she has
message.
received the message.
Now I need to wait till she wakes up. No, I'll wake her up. And so Az is going to send,
Okay.
Use his one of his castings for sending
Okay.
that he has to send a message to Anna. All right, let's get this. Got 25 words.
And because we're on a different plane, does it have a percentage of failure, like in D&D?
No.
All right, cool. I'm good with that. Anna, I sent you another message. Hope it was clearer. Clear is one word. Crystal clear. You have 25 words to ask me questions.
Questions is one word.
Questions about the gate.
Please ask them.
Please respond. Oh,
You have one word left.
I do.
You keep trying to count
Please.
syllables.
Okay. Please respond. Please respond.
Please
So I said,
respond.
thank you.
Thank.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you, Harry Potter. There's a hesitation, and then you get back. Got it. Why are you waking me up?
Stop wasting words, Anna.
Counter clockwise or clockwise for symbols on gate stone. Bruce says hi.
You have 5 more.
I hate the dark.
Help.
If I wasn't being so clean speeched, I had another word that I was going to use, but it doesn't work right now.
All right, that's the sending spell he has.
Okay.
So I'll send her another
That's
one.
all. And then she's going to sit there and be like, nothing. Woke me up. I ask a question. I get nothing in response.
He's laying there in the dark. Go back to sleep. It's not like you got anywhere to go.
It's like
At
texting your
least she
friend.
has Bruce.
Yeah. It's like texting your friend late at night and you ask them a question. They've been texting back and forth and then they never answer.
Suddenly there's
Like,
nothing.
oh,
And you're like, you seriously could have
we were
just told
just
me.
talking just fine.
You could have told me you were going to sleep. All right. So
That is my position with you when I'm trying to talk to you in the middle. Like
you're
if
like
you go to
laying
sleep,
in
you're
bed.
yeah.
That's the promise of don't have serious discussions before you go to sleep. Because one of you is half asleep.
I always fall asleep during this
It's
discussion.
the only time we get to talk.
I know. It's like a whole thing.
So as we'll tell the other party members that she got the message, and he's just got to respond as to whether that's clockwise, not counterclockwise.
Okay.
Although he will look to. Oh, Lamont doesn't know her.
Mm-mm.
Well, he did scry her,
Lamont can scry on her.
but he can't do ascending to her.
Yeah, he has to know her a little bit better than that.
Cool.
Because I don't think sending can work where you just any person that you see, you suddenly can send them a message.
As is going to.
We're not Jester from Critical Role.
As is going to indicate to Morgan. Morgan, question for you. I only had one spell to communicate with Anna, but I need to tell her clockwise. Would you be able to help with that?
Yes, I can.
Can you just tell her clockwise?
I can send someone, yes.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
You know, I could have sent someone with the message itself.
now I feel stupid. That's true.
And she just kind of nods and
Flint, did you have that diagram I sent you earlier that we drew out on the papers? Do you have that?
Oh, yeah, I still have that. Here.
Like
I
from
really
our
like
lesson
the
plan?
pop-up parts.
Do you want to give us these? This is like the lesson plan. So she has it like, because I sent it in the dream, but then when she wakes up, she has to remember it. But if you can actually send someone, like with these papers,
yes. She reaches out and takes it and then says, don't be surprised if something gets lost in translation from this realm to the next.
We've sent it all we can. Might as well try as many roads as possible.
Agreed. By this point, you guys have reached the way station that was up ahead of you. They're pretty much exactly the same. Each of the way stations is going to look the same, and you have the same type of space to lay down. However, in this instance, it is not a Katrina that is guarding. It is an Essobach. Essobach is essentially a platypus.
Yes, they are.
And they have a lion's tail and a very short-cut mane that covers their head and goes back down the spine. Very long platypus-like platypus bill with the very sharp fangs, almost like alligator fangs, that come out and around in the front. And the Morrigan once again goes up and speaks to them, and she turns to Az to indicate, like, show your wrist to them. And then
I have the stamp.
Yeah,
I can get in the club. I get in the club.
I'm over 21. You go in with no real issue. It's the exact same setup as it was in the other facility this time as well. The music is very excited.
Yeah, guys, it got intense right there.
All right, I want all of you to roll me a D20, please.
All right. Okay.
I don't
This
as well this time.
is just a flat D20 again.
Yep, flat D20.
And this was a
I rolled
fortitude.
11, so I rolled 2 ones.
Ooh. I got an 18.
This is a
Nice.
fortitude save?
No, this is just a flat D20.
Okay, I think I'm going to use a hero point on that one.
Do you have a hero
no.
point?
I have 2. Because I haven't used one yet, and I was given one.
He was given one, yes.
You
And
have
then
totally used a hero point already.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
When did I use a
I
hero
think
point?
you have.
You did at the beginning of the session, and then Synth Knight gave you one.
What did I use it on?
It was like one of the very first rolls we did.
Oh, was it?
I thought it was too, because it was like, well, we're using those early.
So I guess I have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, so you have one, so you're going to use it now?
Yeah,
What
that's
was
the
it
one
that you
Synth
got?
Knight gave
5.
Your choice.
us. I actually rolled well. I took his lucky dice.
I rolled an 11,
So,
which I think I've only really rolled ones, 11s, and I think one other number.
so Clara and Flint, you both get a full 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I'll use the hero point on that.
Yay! So I can get rid of exhaustion.
Yep, you both can get rid of your
that's right.
fatigued status.
17.
Okay, and you're good too. All right.
I do not want to be
Goodbye.
drained.
No, you do not want to be drained in this place. It freaking
As
sucks.
is not hit point heavy.
No, you are not. All right, so you are now you sleep through the night. You guys all wake up surprisingly rested. Your bodies seem to have adjusted. Okay, it's like that second night of sleeping on a strange bed. It's much better than the first night, always is. You wake up. Lamond once again is grumbling about being old. I should probably roll for him. I keep forgetting like he exists. Oh, gee.
Why did we bring him again?
Because he has to
Teleportation
open
spell.
the gate. He has to do the
yeah.
teleportation spell back once you get there.
That's if he's able to.
I know, right? So he unfortunately had the opposite reaction to all of you to have the second night's sleep.
Man.
Where it's worse than the first, and he is officially drained 1.
Oh no.
So he's very creaky, and just everything is just hurting on his entire body. And he's just like,
Oh man.
As I know it's... Lamond might need what you did to me.
and yeah, Lawan does say, yes, I am not ashamed to say I am in pain. Physically, existentially, emotionally, grammatically. Wait.
Grammatically,
That works. That tracks. We're gonna go with it.
as you wish. As in picking his spells for the day, because he did sleep, so I can rearrange my cleric ones. Will then I grabbed 2 sets of restoration.
Hi,
So
Starry Night.
I will cast one of those restorations to decrease him from drained to fatigued.
Okay. Perfect. And he kind of like shakes his arms out a little bit and he's like, "Oh, thank you, as I have never been good at the healing aspects of life. Much better at the killing and destruction and the fire things. Well, shall we be off?"
Yes.
Let's.
Az is going to, since he's awake, use one of his sendings to Anna.
Okay. Are you going to do the sending or are you going to wait to hear whether or not the Morrigan was able to get her the message? You keep wanting to do this. You keep forgetting that she's like a lot more powerful than you are.
Honestly, Az would want to hear from her.
Okay.
So Az would do the sending. Mm-hmm. And he would just be like, "Hey, Anna, hope you got sleep?" The answer is clockwise. Clockwise. The Morrigan is sending someone with my notes to help.
4 more. If you want them. Just say it. Just say, "I love you." Just go there.
Just do it. Just.
No, don't do that. That would be really mean. She would just message back, "F you," and that'd be the end of it.
Have a pleasant day.
Perfect. 25.
Don't bother coming.
Oh, hello, Astrid. Okay, so Anna responds back.
And you are cool.
Oh, that would have been a nice way to end it.
We'll just go 1, 4, 3.
What? 1, 4, 3. I don't get it.
1 for I, 4 for love, 3 for you.
Aww, that's cute. Okay, so Anna,
As you wish.
as you wish. You're like, okay. So Anna responds back after just a moment and says, "Strange creature came to my fire. Bruce tried to eat it. Got the plans not in common. But
The pictures will still make sense.
I got clockwise. Thank you very much."
Well, at least the diagrams will still make sense. They aren't in language. Okay. Well, it's the best we can do.
Oh, Starry Night just redeemed a hero point for David for Flint. Yay!
Yay!
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Starry Night.
Thank you.
Okay, Morgan is there now and says, "Are we ready to go?"
Yes. Let us. Wait, can I grab that spell before I?
Oh,
Okay,
I feel good.
you guys all kind of tie up again to each other. Seriously.
Just tie up all the-
I'm just gonna tie everybody's waist together. As you leave this way station, the Morgan says, "I do want to prepare you. The closer we get to Pharasma's palace, the denser that the spirit and those who have passed will become. There will be many more at the Central Palace as well. But again, try to refrain from speaking to them if they speak to you. And she just turns and begins to walk. And Lamond, you can hear at the back, is just grumbling like, it's very rude not to speak to someone if they speak to you. And if we're not supposed to speak to them, maybe they shouldn't be speaking to us. And
Lamond,
like,
if I have to, I will cast silence on you.
why?
Don't listen to the spider lady.
No, I understand. We're not supposed to talk to the things, and they're not supposed to talk to. Like, I get it. Okay, I get it. I would like for other. Just walk. Can start. He starts walking, and since he's the end of the line, he kind of pulls Flinty after him.
He is grumpy when he doesn't sleep.
And eat.
True.
He's
and so
grumpy.
as is gonna do his cast, create food and water to make sure that there's enough food for him to eat for the day, so he's not hangry.
Here, have a
It'd be
Snickers.
funny if you cast like create water and it actually dumps on him instead, like rain.
Well, I guess, you know what? That's actually a pretty good question. When you're creating water, are you creating water in like the general sense, like suddenly there's water, or are you creating it to fill the canteens?
The way it works is I put my hands out and it fills with water, and then I can pour it. From my
Okay.
hands.
So if
That
you
would
choose,
take forever.
you can dump it on Lamont's head if you feel so inclined.
Because
Just-
he has fireball
just
and
saying.
it works fine.
Interesting thing, though. So create food creates enough people for 6 people for a full day.
Mm-hmm.
Create water only creates 2 gallons.
Interesting.
So we're not fully hydrated.
No, you guys are going to be slightly
Oh,
dehydrated,
no.
but not any more than it wouldn't actually like affect you on a daily basis. If you were to go too long this way,
Yeah,
it
so
would
we
be
got half a
problem,
gallon
but
of water a day per person for drinking.
So don't
We've been
waste
doing
it.
our food storage. Okay, you go out this day, and the mist and the fog surrounding the dead roads are so thick at this point that, oh, thank you, Starry Night.
Thank you.
Starry Night
I
just,
almost roll as bad as Weston.
oh, Giamhina, thank you so much for the raid. We're using a new overlay, so this is cool. Thank you so much.
We found out that the website that from our previous overlay went out of business. So it
We didn't realize that, so we didn't know why all of our stuff wasn't working, like all of our notifications, and that's why. So that would be why. Anyway, hearts and all that jazz. We are in the middle of the Boneyard, which is basically the underworld, and going as fast as they can to Pharasma's palace, which is at the center.
Pharasma is the Pathfinder equivalent of the Raven Queen.
The Raven Queen, yeah, and it's had some pretty negative effects on everybody so far.
Yeah.
So the mist that you see on either side of the dead roads is a straight up fog at this point. It is so thick that if you were to put your hand or arm through it, you would not be able to see it the second it touched the fog. The voices themselves from the previous day are now loud enough that you can hear individual voices. You can hear names being called, conversations being had between multiple people. Some seem familiar, some are not. You can hear the cacophony of hundreds of millions of people that are just on the other side of that mist and that fog. It becomes a bit of a droning to your ears as you move through the day, but every once in a while you do still hear the voice of someone you think you recognize, that may possibly be someone you know. And accompanying those moments, you see in the periphery of your eyes full apparitions. And they are people you recognize. Those that you love. Those that you have lost. And possibly ancestors that you have called upon in the past to help you in the now. As my tech is not even paying attention to what I just said.
I'm hearing you.
Okay.
Clara puts her hand on her sword and then just instinctively grabs the rope, just as physical, like trying to distract herself from looking and hearing. Just that physical, just clenching her fists over and over again, sort of hypnotically trying to distract herself.
Okay. As you continue through the day and you pick up a voice, one that you've not heard for years, one that strikes directly to your heart. You hear it calling your name as a whisper first, just a very gentle as you walk along, you think maybe you didn't actually hear that. You hear it again, louder, more insistent, as. And this time you see a woman, short, the size of a halfling. But when you turn to look at her figure, there's nothing there. Clara, as you're moving in this line, trying to reassure yourself and soothing your hands with the pommel of your sword and the feel of the weapon underneath your fingers, you hear a voice calling out to you. It is soft. It is gentle. It is like a caress over your shoulders, down your back, as you hear Clara. You don't hear it again. Flint. You don't hear a name. You don't hear your name called. But you hear a laughter that strikes to your very soul. One that you didn't realize until that moment you had forgotten what it sounded like. It's gentle like the tinging of bells, like the sweetest music that is carried on the breeze. It reaches your ears. It's only one person that it could possibly be. When you turn to the side to follow that sound, you see a figure just beyond the mist. It looks so real. You reach out and touch that person. What do you do?
So hearing the laughter just brings back all the memories that he had with this person. and he slowly starts reaching out, kind of forgetting where he's at, right? Because he's just been enveloped by memories and how things were. And so he'll start reaching out towards that image.
Just before your fingers would touch the mist, the Morrigan is at your side and grabs your wrist in a nearly vice-like grip. And she pulls you away from the figure that is now dissipating and turning into the white that is surrounding you. And she says, "Do not touch the dead."
Yes, my apologies. Yes.
Did you see her?
And heard her.
Clara has a couple tears that come down because she didn't see, but she could only imagine what it was like.
Yeah, that's carry on. We must be diligent.
I would like all of you to give me a perception check, please.
Oh, are you kidding? My dice hate me tonight.
You got a hero point?
Oh, I have a hero point.
Oh, you do. You guys all have hero points, don't you? Except no. So you, Clara.
Thank you, Starry Night, because that was another one.
Oh dear.
I don't have one. I've used all mine, apparently.
So, Az, what did you get?
I got a 23.
Okay. Flint.
26.
Okay. Clara.
It's what sort of throw?
Perception.
Perception. Oh, okay. Then it is a 21.
Fantastic.
21.
It's a 20. It's a 21.
21.
All right. You all turn and notice Lamond has gone white. He is not speaking at all. And he is standing there almost paralyzed.
Lamont.
Morgan. I think somebody touched something.
Morgan turns around and looks back at Lamond. And she sighs.
What's going on?
Just a moment. She walks back to Lamond and quickly unties his waist from the
Wait.
rope.
What are you doing? You cannot untie him.
She says, "I must." And out of seemingly nowhere, oh gall, I just lost that. Sorry, hold on. Not a that. Hold on. A Katrina shows up, and she hands.
For the new people, we had some people jump in. What's Katrina look like?
Katrina looks like a very standard Day of the Dead type figure. Skeleton with brightly colored clothing, stark black long hair with beautiful large daisies and roses and flowers in their hair.
Like Isabella, but Day of the Dead.
Yes, Isabella, but Day of the Dead. Yes, exactly.
So like the family from Coco.
Yeah, like the family from Coco. All these references. So Morgan hands Lamond to the Katrina and says, "Take him, fly." And she lets go of Lamond, and they both instantly dissipate.
We need him. How are we going to Tell the gate.
Well, at least we get more food now. And more water.
As if the moms really ate that much.
Well,
Don't worry. He will be fine. But he
You
cannot
could have
stay.
started with that. Ugh.
He cannot stay in the fields.
Is that what happens when you touch something?
Lamond is not what he seems. And the dead affect him greater than it would a normal human.
Is it because he's so old and so he's so close to death?
No.
no being can live 1,000 years naturally.
He will be
Of
fine.
course.
But he has been taken somewhere that will keep him safe.
That's going to make the teleportation a little more difficult, but we will find a way. Well,
He will be reunited with you by the time you have to get to the gate.
okay.
At this point, he cannot be here.
Well, then, and Az looks back to where he had the sense of the voice that he recognized just for a moment, looks back that way for a moment, shakes his head. Well, let us be on, then, quickly.
Yes. And
Yes.
remember, she turns to all of you again and says, do not interact with the dead.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Seasonal Bard, for the villain point.
Dang you.
Whoa!
I
love you. She don't need any more help.
As you continue through this day, you feel tired. The exhaustion that took only until the last hour or so of your walk seems to be overcoming you much faster now. And the longer that you are in the Boneyard, the more difficult this is going to be. I would like you all to give me a fortitude save, please.
Fortitude for the win.
Oh, good.
It's above a 10.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
26.
Okay.
We've only had one person fail each night.
That's a 30, I think. 13 plus 17.
Yep.
Yep,
30.
that's a 30. Okay, perfect.
Yay, math.
I beat you. I got a 35.
Whoa!
Nice. Okay. It is not nighttime yet.
And we're already
Thank you,
rolling.
Starry
And-
Night.
Yes, thank you, Starry Night. I wasn't kidding at the beginning of the session. I told you guys there's going to be a lot of necessary hero points for these guys
so
to
funny
get
'cause-
through.
Yeah, as a DM, you like warn them, like just a warning. This guy, and as a player, like, yeah, we'll be fine.
You're like, and you're like, oh,
halfway through,
frick.
No,
What's going on?
I never feel fine because I have rolled like 5 ones.
I think
I rolled a lot of ones.
I think you kind of brought that on yourself, though, saying that you intentionally wanted
that
to
one time.
fail.
That one time, yes.
The dice gods were just like, sure, okay, we'll go with that.
These dice are just emotionally connected to me. Because when I play Henley in the podcast, if I'm having a bad day, I'm up a dice, have a bad day too.
It's true.
Emotional
It's true.
support
It's true.
dice.
All right, so
They're too empathizing.
at this point, you guys have reached kind of the lunch period, the halfway point, and the Morrigan has stopped you and does say, I am pleasantly surprised after this morning that you are all doing as well as you are. Please keep that up, as it will only get harder. So you can sit and eat if there's anything that you would like to do at this point.
Just gotta.
Clara eats with one hand and one hand on her sword, just as a comfort.
As we walk over to Clara and Flint, did you see people? I heard some voice. I thought I might recognize it, but I'm not sure.
I recognized my voice, but I did not see him.
And I did see someone
Really?
and heard them. Yes, that's it. Kind of caught me off guard, and that's why I was reaching for her. But we gotta.
Both Flinty and I have lost our special someones.
Yes.
Ah.
Partly why we empathize so much with you losing your special someone, whether that is your friend or other.
Yes. Az gets a little flustered. Well, yes. I was wondering. He pulls out. He's got his bag, his medical kit there. He's got some gauze and stuff like that. And he pulls it out and kind of wads up. He's like, I wonder if, and he pushes some of it into his ear.
Okay.
And he's like, I wonder if maybe we, like, if we muted, if we, like, had these in, if it would make it easier. Because we wouldn't hear them.
Oh, well, it's definitely worth a try.
Do you want, and he kind of holds out, like, some of the little wads and stuff like that of, cloth and stuff like that and gauze that he's got for bandages and things like that. To rip off pieces.
I feel like it is more connection in my mind than with my actual ears. But we really should go back to why you are so concerned about Anna.
I don't think we necessarily need to go back there.
It will ease our minds, at least Flinty and I.
Well,
At least Flinty.
I understand. He's so concerned.
You obviously care about her greatly. Come on, please tell us.
Maybe it'll help lighten the mood.
GM, can I ask her to do a diplomacy check? Because I don't know what as.
Okay.
He's gonna do.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's totally fine. Go ahead and do a diplomacy check, Clara.
I am good at those. I have a plus 15.
Yeah,
All
she is
right.
pretty good at them.
That one.
No.
Dave, you're like,
What is it?
It's a 14 plus
Oh.
a 15.
29.
29.
Sorry, DC was 30.
I would honestly say for as a DC would probably have been 28.
Yeah, it would have been high.
Okay.
So I did it.
Yeah, you did.
Well, have I told you about the place where she's at?
Yes, you told me it's a great portals. Is where you escaped.
Yeah. So we had just escaped. We had battled with. How do I say this? It was our escape path from Enferak.
Yes.
We do not know. They seem to have not been interested, but for all I know, the Hell Knights will decide to suddenly patrol the area. It is a. Honestly, I don't know why they haven't.
Okay, You must be misunderstanding. You have told me this information. I want to know about your feelings for Anna.
She's straight up, dude.
But he's like sitting there like,
Oh. That. Dang, you rolled pretty well. I don't know. To be honest, I have never had a relationship like I have with Anna, and I don't quite understand it. In my life, everyone has been a mark, an asset, or a agent. That is
Right.
everyone in my world. Anna does not fit into the categories. And so I will be honest, because you asked so straightforwardly, that I don't know. I don't know what this is. I don't know. It is something I have never thought about. And don't quite know what to say.
Considering that explanation, that makes sense. But I would encourage you to search your feelings, even if she is even only a special comrade that will always share a special bond with you, or romantically. But search your feelings. For those who are close and you want to remain close, must be protected.
When she says romantically, Az kind of, kind of coughs and kind of like,
Believe me, romance can sneak up on you.
I haven't had the experience with that. As a slave, that's not something that comes about in a positive manner.
Absolutely. And I'm not just meaning. Romance can often be portrayed as just physical attraction, but it is
So
much more than that.
You both have you been married? Have you, it's like, what, pair bonded? Mates?
yes.
Just kind of looking at both of you, kind of being like, I'm not sure what, the traditions are in your
right.
world, like.
Married.
Yes,
Okay,
married.
okay. So can I ask something?
Absolutely.
How do you be romantic?
Well, let me tell you.
So instead of getting into full dating advice thing, like over the next little bit, Az is going to ask some questions about like when you like a special someone, like what are some things that you like?
How do you tell
Can
them?
you teach me how to make heart-shaped notes?
Oh my gosh, yes. You write your name and hers together with a little heart. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
All you gotta do is make her laugh. That is it. That's all you need.
That's all there is to it.
I'm not funny.
That's the truth.
She says with like a straight, like serious face, like But
Okay.
You can
Now we
imagine
gotta
in your
have-
head, Anna's like, that's not true. You make me laugh quite often, not on purpose, though. Oh my gosh, Az has a -20 on figuring it out.
in this area, yes. It's actually it's very funny because Az is a high charisma character. Which
When
means
it
the high
comes to
diplomacy.
romance,
But when
he
it
knows
comes
nothing.
to that, like he's the opposite of your classic bard. He's the exact opposite.
He has no idea what to do with it.
I can imagine Flint being like, okay, getting building his own diagram to show as
Oh my gosh.
what
that's
romance
amazing.
is and what is how to be funny.
True.
Perfect.
It's, delivery is always important.
Oh, dude, we're gonna have to figure out a joke like in between sessions. And when he first meets Anna, it's gonna be like he pulls out this piece of paper and reads it.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh. Please. Please. We will publish that.
Goes to me with a joke.
We will legit publish that on our Twitter if that does come about. So
Okay.
reason
We'll
to
work on it.
go
We'll
hang
work
out
on
on my
Flint
Twitter.
has a +50 to diagrams.
All
I
right.
studied those pop-up books.
It's
I
true.
know how to do it.
That's true. Okay, so after lunch, you guys do continue on.
And I do want to say, welcome the Evil Drow. First time on the stream and being in the chat.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I
Hello.
did, I did not
Welcome,
get that
welcome,
notification, but that is
Plus
okay.
50 actual ones.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
What?
I have a +50 to roll in one.
Yes, you do.
Even if they're 11s.
Even if there's ones. There are so many ones. Okay, so after your lunch, you guys do continue on the trail again. The mood in the entire area is fairly somber. You do pass another gate. This one, instead of the last one that was very beautiful in kind of a starry scape, this one seems to be made of thorns, grown up out of the ground from thorn bushes, with roses every once in a while, but they look decayed and half dead on the vine themselves. The one standing before it is as close as you have seen up to this point as a human, but there is something off about it. Approximately 6.5 feet tall, with pure white skin and hair that seems to be a pearlescent color that catches the light as they move. The Morgan goes up to this individual, once again has a brief conversation. This time, instead of nails on a chalkboard, uncomfortable feeling, you get an uncomfortable feeling, but this time it's a pleasant uncomfortable. It's almost like a pain that feels good. It washes over your minds and it creates a false sense of security, but something in the back of your minds is screaming to get away as fast as possible. The individual, for a brief moment, with eyes as pure as the waters of the Pacific, meet yours as. And in that moment, you get the overwhelming sensation that if this person talked to you, you would be lost. As the Morgan steps away, the creature continues to look in your direction and as you all turn away, in your periphery, you get the image of wings unfurled. Give me a religion check, please.
Oh, wow. That's a 19 on the roll.
I love it when you roll high and I can tell you stuff.
Plus my religion of 14. That's a 33.
Okay.
Whoa.
As you walk away, there is something niggling at the back of your mind, but you know that this is something. This is someone you should know. It's just sitting there, and it comes to you in this overwhelming wave of exacting knowledge. That creature, that Nephilim, was someone from your ancestral line, where your celestial blood comes from.
Okay.
The librarian.
As you continue through the day.
So before we start
Yes, no,
heading
go ahead.
off, Flint will lean over to Az, and he's like, did you feel that feeling there that it was like kind of pleasant, but kind of like, I don't want to be here anymore, you know? You kind of remember that
That's a good description of it, yeah.
That's kind of like flirting with someone you like. That's kind of the feeling you get.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird, but you get used to it. Kinda. And then he just walks away.
Clara then adds, it also, in addition, feels sort of natural to be with that person.
Yeah.
Okay, that I get.
Yep, did a good job. Here we go.
By the way, hi, Sean. I know the evil drow. He's a good friend of mine.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, as you continue forward, unless there was anything else you guys wanted to, okay. As you continue forward through the rest of your trip, you don't necessarily hear or see anything that is of particular note, but that constant companion of eyes watching, voices whispering in the mist, never leave. It is now with you. And there is a fear that, while at least you're in this place, it's going to haunt your dreams. You reach the next way station. This way station is significantly bigger and has at least 3 dead roads coming into it. Still the same setup. There's just many more psychopops. And for the first time, you guys see other living humans.
Ooh.
Or humanoids.
Right.
There's at least 3 other individuals inside the room that you guys go into. However, they look to be very closed off. There is a tall human, approximately 5'10", dressed in armor, male.
5'10" is tall? Just want
to clarify.
Keep that in my cap.
Average height of 5'10"
No,
for a male.
I'm okay with you calling 5'10" tall.
For all of you in the chat that don't know, Weston is 5'9" and a half. And I always call him short.
Give me that half.
No, Weston. 5'2" is short. Thank you.
Also in the chat, if you don't know, Hayley is over 6 foot.
Yeah, I am. So a lot of people are short to me. So, a human male looks to be like some type of fighter. Has a couple of swords on them. There's a gnome, very small and kind of flitting all over the place, looking at different things. You can see that they are in full gnome form of ADHD, wanting to touch and look at every aspect of this facility. And the third member of this group is a young child.
Oh.
She is approximately 6 years old. She is wearing a beautiful pink gown, and it looks as though these two are escorting her.
The child gets particular attention from Clara. Clara's having a hard time not going over and talking to her.
How dare you bring a child into this place?
Going a little mama bear.
A little bit. But they are situated on the opposite side of where you all are, and the human male does seem to be very on guard. But the Morgan kind of releases you guys to do your thing
Clara
for the evening.
has a question for the Morgan, though.
Yes.
Morgan, I thought you said it was rare that living folks came here. What are more living folks doing here? Especially one so young.
Do you not see her skin color?
No.
Give me a perception check. All three of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. 17.
Total?
Yes.
Okay.
21.
Okay.
33.
Would you like to tell them what skin color she has?
I imagine it's very light, almost gray,
Yes.
of a duskwalker.
Mm-hmm.
Pathfinder Lord Drop, right?
Do it in character. Tell them what's going on.
Clara, I imagine this is a child's color. The child is a duskwalker. The duskwalkers are souls that come to the Boneyard, but Pharasma says that it's not their time. For somehow things didn't work out, and they return to the world of the living as a young child. Generally found at churches or other places, they place them where they should go, and then they grow up again.
Clara is like obvious relief and just stress just washes, like just emotions just wash out, and she's just like, that is good to hear. Thank you.
Morgan just smiles and says, they're not going to Pharasma. They're coming from Pharasma. The guards,
And so the two with them are the guards, then, yes.
Yes. They are given specific tasks. They exist outside of time, outside of humanity, outside of Golarion.
They are champions.
Yes.
Oh. Honest.
Clara is just gonna walk over to
Like-
the little child.
10,000 years
Like-
later, but yeah.
I know it's a little ways away, but Clara's gonna walk over there
Okay.
and sort of speak to the child and say, I know this.
Before
You know.
you're able to reach her, the man steps in front of you, and with a hand on his pommel, he is not doing it out of security. He will pull that sword.
Okay. May I speak with the child?
What's your business?
I wish to give her an embrace. You may take my weapons.
Give me a diplomacy check.
And as is just kind of flash the thing, he's like, "We're good people. We're cool.
We're protected.
Good night, Sean.
That's a 26.
Okay.
There we go."
He looks at you very intensely. You can almost feel his assessment into your bones.
She just looks him straight in the eye, just very calm, like his menacing stare is whatever.
Nice. And he does nod almost imperceptibly and then takes a step backward.
Okay.
So that you can approach the child.
Okay. I approach her, and I'm quite tall, so I kneel down, but not so close to her that she could feel threatened in a way.
Just getting on her level.
Yeah. And I say, if you will allow, may I give you a hug?
She kind of looks up at her protector to check and make sure that's okay, and then opens her arms.
And what? Good.
When you do wrap your arms around her, you feel an alienness about her body. The familiarity of a child's body, but something just different. As a dusk walker, she is not quite human. She is not quite dead. She will live and grow as a human would, but it's just not totally there.
It's still, even though Clara feels those feelings, it still fills Clara with hope and just that she gets a second chance. And then Clara says, thank you, and does a little nod and walks away.
As you walk
and then goes directly to her bed.
Okay. As you walk away, you do hear the young girl turn to her protector and say, Sabian, why does she make me feel warm? All right. As you've been over here just searching through your magic books frantically, what are you looking for?
No, but actually, Az will actually walk over towards one of the guards, one of the two.
Okay. The human guard, Sabian, is the one next to the girl. The gnome is still flitting all over the place.
All right. He'll walk up to Sabian. Excuse me, sir.
Yes. And he takes a step in front of his charge.
Oh, no, I just have a question for you.
Yes?
You have been in the service of the lady for a good while, I understand.
Yes.
Has it been good?
He's kind of confused by the question.
It
is a purpose. It is a reason for existence.
I am the traveling companion of one who serves, and simply wondered what her future might bring, and what it is to serve the lady long term.
It is unending satisfaction. It is knowledge in judgment and eternity.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad. I know a lot of people who say they can't get no satisfaction. So it is good to hear. Thank you. I will not bother you anymore.
He nods and turns his back on this group of ridiculous individuals.
I am not included in that.
You're like, I'm in bed!
I can't get no.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe you did that. Okay.
Satisfaction, and then immediately my brain's like, I can't get no.
Oh my gosh, crazy. The DC went up for tonight. What?
Weston!
All right, speaking
tonight's
of.
over. All right, yay!
So go ahead and give me a DC or TC. Give me a straight D20. And are you guys good to stay on for like another 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a 5.
Oh, fantastic.
I got a 6.
Great.
Oh!
I got a 19.
Whoa! The dwarf has you beat. All right, you wake up.
Weston and I's doesn't even add up to 19.
No, it doesn't. You're like, combined, we are not Captain Planet. All right.
Captain Puddle.
Captain Puddle. You all sleep. But Clara and Az, your night is filled with nightmares. All of those voices that seem to be held at bay by the walls of the way station invade your dreams, and you are unable to sleep in any real depth. And when you wake in the morning, you are both drained 1.
Goodness.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh, that was such a relaxing night.
And
Oh.
Flint is like,
Shut up.
I slept on a cloud. There were unicorns feeding me grapes.
Not in the mood this morning.
Well, then it's a good thing that Az has 2 restoration spells prepared.
I should have made you roll for this after you prepared your spells for the next day. Okay, go ahead.
And then, those are the same ones I had prepared yesterday. So I'll go ahead and cast on me and Clara restoration.
Okay, so you instead of drained 1, you're both fatigued 1.
Fatigued 1, all right.
Okay.
Oh, good. Let me fix that really quick.
Okay. This morning, the Morrigan comes to you a little sooner than she has previously. And she says, we should reach the palace today. Well, time being relative, your day. The process to get into the palace should be fairly simple. But you never know, considering the fact everyone is converging on the center. We may have to interact with, or at the very least be questioned by a Yamaraj. Don't be worried. They're fairly simple. They see life in black and white, tell the truth when they ask you questions. It will be fine. That mark on your wrist gives you safe passage through the dead roads.
Multipass.
It doesn't necessarily give you safe passage within Pharasma's palace. So,
best behavior.
yes. And the Yamaraj is the way for you to have safe passage within the palace.
All right.
Understood? And she looks at Flint. Do not touch the dead. Good.
And Clara grabs onto her sword.
Like, I just love this is my little blankie, my little security blanket. It's okay.
My security sword.
Some people have teddy bears. I have a sharp sticky. All right. Today, as you get onto the path of the dead roads, you feel something has shifted. The images, the apparitions in the mist are no longer in your periphery, but fully formed figures just on the other side. While you can't necessarily make out distinct features of these individuals, you can see height, builds, like shadows of the individuals they used to be. The voices are loud, but they are gentle. They're not a barrage as they were previously. As you walk, tied together, again, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Clara sort of looks out just longingly out into the mist, sort of searching yet not searching for her husband. But still, she doesn't move. She just keeps walking, but it's almost like she's being tugged a little.
Okay.
But,
A little kind
still
of
holding on to
distracted
her
walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
As is reading and trying to recite in his head the jokes that Flinty had given him. Working on
you two can be standing next to each other working on lines if you
working on
want.
his delivery, you know.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Pickup lines.
Knock, knock. Yes, that's how you do it.
When you fell from heaven?
Dear heavens, do not ever use that on Anna. She will slap you in the face.
Good, but you got to do more suave in it. Like, did it hurt when you fell from heaven? More like that.
Pickup
So yeah.
Little things like that.
As you move forward, you eventually lose interest in pickup lines for the woman you know would most likely not be interested in them anyway. Just for the moment. I'm not saying for always. You're losing interest for the moment. Recite as many as you want later. You hear the voice from the day before. Its softness wraps you in what can only be described as a hug. As, darling. It's a softness that you haven't heard for many, many, many years. It brings back memories of skinned knees and running in the garden with other halfling brothers and sisters. It brings back warm baked bread and nights where the only thing that could get you to sleep from the nightmares was her calm voice. You suddenly see, not in the periphery, not in a shadow, but in full form, a halfling woman. A well-made dress covering her body, her hair braided back and up into a very elaborate and beautiful, simple form. Her sweet eyes look at you, and she just stands and stares. And Morrigan puts a hand out to stop you all. And she stares at this woman, at this halfling. And the halfling looks towards the Morrigan and just says, please. The Morrigan stands there for just a moment, judging, weighing the consequence of answering that plea, and then steps aside.
Az looks at Morgan.
Kira puts a single hand out towards you.
Kaya.
Sorry. Puts a single hand out towards you. And says, you should not be here. Why are you here, my dear boy?
Az gets down on his knees. And then brings, kind of gets down so he's at the same level. And then he's like trying to mouth words that won't quite come out. And he looks back at the Morgan.
She just nods.
I had hoped we had people looking. We knew where you were sold to, but the trail went cold. I got out. I got away.
I know. You did not think I would leave you alone. And she reaches a single hand out and touches your cheek.
But you did. But I know you didn't. There was not much of a choice. When you can be sold. Just know one thing. I am going to kill him.
You see her face just go.
Oh no. I am going
as
to. Because it's more than just you.
as I've seen the woman you are with. You are a match. Do not let your life be filled with nothing but revenge. You got out.
Well, actually, she's coming with me. We kind of have to do this part together. And, like, he points to the Morgan. Shh, her boss is telling us to as well. So it's kind of a package deal. But
Kaya smiles and just pulls you in for a hug. And just holds tightly around your neck.
Az freezes, like, kind of like... and then you watch suddenly as it goes from to little boy hugs that are tight and squeeze.
I love you. I am free. And with that, you feel the solid nature of that body begin to dissipate until there's nothing there.
Az kind of just stays there on the ground, not moving.
Clara puts her hand on his shoulder, just affirming and reassuring.
Flint kind of just stays back. And he's kind of...
And Clara starts to sing. Sing a song of woe for the fallen. Raise them as they go on their way. And though we mourn their loss as the final bridge they cross, we stand and bravely fight another day. Sing a song of tears for the fallen. Laud them as they reach their journey's end. For though their life is done, we each and every one will hold them in our hearts, our dearest friend. Hold on, gotta find the next part. Life's journey can be hard as we go upon our way. The road may be dark or as bright as the day, but when the journey ends, there is not left to say. He was a friend, she was a foe, but through life's journey all must go, and time has come when life must pass away. So sing a song of peace for the fallen as they cast their burdens down on this day. Let it be said they did their best as they seek their final rest. So with heavy hearts we sing them on their way. And then she just squeezes his shoulder and waits for him to stand up.
As the last notes fade away into the mist, you hear footsteps coming from behind you. You see the Morrigan's eyes glance back and nod at whoever is approached. And then you hear his voice.
And tears just, she falls to her knees, sort of, she was kind of next to us, so she falls to her knees and just, tears just flow down her cheeks.
The steps approach as he says, I always loved your voice. But Morrigan's hand reaches out and she stops his progression. And he says, will you turn and look at me? Please.
She's visibly like shaking, trying to control her tears and her body just wanting to just break down and sob. But she's like puts her hands on the ground and slowly turns and looks at him, just, looking awful with red puffy eyes and just tear-stained cheeks. And then the minute she sees him, she sort of just curls into herself and just cries.
He reaches out for you, but before he can actually touch you, his hands stop. And he takes a step back with a deep sigh. He looks exactly like the day that you saw him last. Like nothing has changed. He looks exactly the way he did when you walked out that door. I have something to tell you, he says.
She then looks up at his face.
He just smiles.
She smiles back. Just happy, but so sad she knows that this is going to be so fleeting.
Mm-hmm. I can only say for a moment, my business before I could move on was to speak with you about something. Our Lady has allowed for me to stay. She knew somehow that this would happen and I would see you again. Do not trust Lamont. The words drop like stones in this silence. I can't tell you what happened because I don't have memory of what happened. But I do know the last face that I saw is the one that you were around every day. Do not
Claire's face darkens at that.
Do you believe me?
She nods, still kind of afraid to talk to him. She was warned so profusely by the
Morgan.
Mm-hmm. And then, I've always trusted you. I love you, Ronnie.
I love you too, Cece.
At that, she smiles and just more tears, but it's different kind of tears, just like the sweet memories start to come back.
And Ron looks up to the Morgan as he has now also knelt down to be at your same level. And with a pleading in his eyes, he just asks, please, can I? And with the same judgment that she had with Az, she pauses and weighs. And with a slow shake of her head, she says no. So he curls the fists, the hands that would have touched you, and pulls away. And says, I love you.
Clara looks at him just longingly, and she just curls her hands, and I know that's not dirt, but she just curls her hands up onto the ground because she was so hoping she could touch, just like Az was able to touch Kaya.
He stands.
And she then looks at the Morgan and just, pleads. Just, please. She doesn't say anything, just looks, pleading.
Shockingly, You see that Morgan has a single tear running down her cheek as she once again shakes her head no. He stands staring deeply into your eyes, holding on to every last possible moment as you begin to see the edges of his shirt blur. His fingers become more like water than like flesh. And one last look. He disappears. But on the wind that is moving through the dead road, you hear him say, "Be happy." And that's where we're going to end for night's session.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
All right.
Ocean. Oh.
You just want to
yeah.
pull out
I
all
think
the
I'm
heartstrings
getting.
tonight.
I think I'm getting a hang of this GMing thing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, you guys. Thank you to Abby and David from Tomes of the Chaos Bard for letting me throw them through the emotional ringer tonight. We all knew that the Boneyard was going to be difficult. Y'all thought it was going to be difficult for a very different reason.
Yes.
But it's Hayley jamming.
I know, but
Very
this is
well
me
done.
GMing, which means nothing is as it seems. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember that Monday night is Tabletop Train Talks, where we talk about tabletop gaming, train, and other nerdy things. And tomorrow I'm on with the Tired DM here on Twitch. And we'll be hosting the channel here as well, so you can hang out here tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, and extrapolate from there to your time zone. I think that's everything for tonight, you guys. Go get some tissues, go get some rest. Thank you for hanging out with us so late, and remember, it only takes two. Good night.
Good.
Good night.